So knowing how to properly chop and cook onions and garlic can be a real time saver in the kitchen. So today we're going to show you how to do it.
And we're going to do it with personal chef Bill Collins from chefbill.com. I've already had some garlic. My breath is terrible already.
Oh, that's why.
Over here, yeah.
That's the breath. So let's start with the basics. We have a clove of garlic here. How do we break it apart?
It's very easy and it's very counterintuitive. What you want to do is put it on its side, take your weight, press down, and you'll hear that it breaks.
Oh, just like our kitchen counter.
Just like, yeah, I just collapsed the kitchen, and it breaks apart that way.
Strong.
Because, or I just weigh a lot, and just put your weight on. Because the thing is, these very thin outer skins, they're like Kevlar. You just can't really
I know,
cut
isn't
into
it
them.
true?
It is, and so you break apart, and so that's how. So that's the first step.
This just got real easy.
Now, but in this case, sometimes they do pop off, but usually they stay right in the next layer. So what you want to do is take a knife, and here's that one works too. And what I like to do is just press down on it. You don't need all your weight, just kind of give it till you hear it crack.
Oh, you just press, because I always go bam.
You can do that too.
Do you make the sound effect too?
Oh, I do.
You do bam?
Join me in the kitchen, it's fun.
And so that way, by breaking it up, I'm just going to grab the paring knife here. It should come right off. And then you've got the garlic clove right underneath.
And
this one's a little bit funky. That's a culinary term.
It's unique.
But you can cut that part off.
Special.
And so you've got the garlic clove here, and sometimes you might need to just give it a little start, and it comes right off that way.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
This may seem silly.
Nope.
Is there a way to handle garlic without using your hands?
Yes, have somebody else do it.
Yeah, okay.
But no,
I
they don't call
cannot
it.
get the smell off my fingers.
You know how you get the smell off your fingers? Stainless steel.
But like rub it on my fridge?
Sink on your or in your sink. Or you can buy these little stainless steel little plates. It looks like a credit card, and just rub it on your hand. And for whatever chemical reason, it takes much of the garlic smell out.
Okay.
You could always use
strangest
gloves too if you wanted to.
True.
But they call it handle for a reason, because it involves your hands.
Okay.
Yes, but part of the thing about using gloves, though, because garlic can be very sticky, is you just end up with a sticky mess, and you actually lose some of the dexterity. Because I've tried that, and so you can try the gloves, but it might not.
No gloves.
No gloves.
So now, yes, you're gonna have a
Oh,
question.
no, I wasn't. I was excited about chopping.
So now, what I like to do is, again, keeping your fingers here out of harm's way, is just kind of go along like that, and turn it sideways a little bit, and then next thing you know, you've got some minced garlic.
Minced.
And if you want it smaller, just keep chopping.
Now, Chef Bill,
Yes.
you know how you can buy minced garlic in a jar in the grocery store? Mm-hmm. Is there a big difference between mincing your own fresh garlic and the jarred garlic?
Yes, it is. There is a big difference because this is fresher. This is just out of the shell, just out of the skins there, and it's going to have a more vibrant smell and flavor. The other stuff, it's still going to be garlicky, but you're not going to get the same oomph.
Okay.
And so, but you also don't want to use too much of it. Say you're making a pesto or making a salad dressing, making a vinaigrette. People say, oh, I love garlic, and they throw a ton in. It will take the top of your head off. So if you're making just a regular vinaigrette, just use a couple of garlic cloves. Don't go crazy with it because it's really a nice, sharp, pungent flavor.
All right,
Less is more.
Less
Yes.
is more, unless you're Seth.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about roasting garlic now.
Yes, and now this is the great thing about roasting garlic is it takes away all the harshness and zip that I just talked about that you find with fresh garlic. And so
it's easy. A lot of people think it's hard to do,
it's crazy easy. Let me show you. With a sharp knife, you want to cut down into it like that, and you see all the exposed garlic that you've cut there. Take a piece of aluminum foil, put it there, right in the middle, and you can do multiple cloves at a time, and you can even put them. You don't have to have a separate piece of foil for each one.
How long do the cloves last once they're roasted?
I would say in your refrigerator a few days.
Okay.
And then just a little bit of salt and pepper, and just seal this up.
There's something magical about olive oil, salt, and pepper.
Oh, it's perfect.
It's
a
perfect.
perfect
on
combo.
anything, right?
Exactly.
Oh, I agree.
And then pop this in the oven, 375. It goes for
Is your
about.
I'm
present?
going to throw it in there. This is like the best thing I've gotten all week.
And your mileage may vary. Sometimes it's about 25 minutes. Sometimes it's about 40 minutes. And then when it comes out, this is what you have. Now, a couple of things. You still have all this tight skin around it, so you can pull it down like that. And the great thing, it's very messy. Talk about sticky. It is very messy, but the cloves will just pop right out.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll see how it's just like that. And it's very soft and mushy, just like that. Play with your food. It's an important thing.
Yes.
And also, if you'd like to try some, I've already smeared some. That's a culinary term. I smeared some.
Smeared. That is definitely your word.
It is my word. I smeared some on the toast point. And you can see how smooth it is. It takes out the sharpness, and it brings out the natural sugars almost, and it just, you don't have the zing of garlic. You can still keep vampires away with this, but with Halloween coming, you want that's important.
It's very important.
No vampires around my house.
Nope, but see, and that's the big difference. If you were to just take raw garlic and have it on the toast point, that might hurt.
No, that's true.
So, and that's the benefit of garlic.
It's great, and I apologize to all the rest of our guests in the show today. Our breath is going to smell terrible.
We're sorry.
But it's only going to get worse because later in the show, we've got Onions 101. We're going to tell you everything you need to know, so don't go anywhere.
We are back in the kitchen with personal chef Bill Collins from chefbill.com. Earlier, we talked about garlic.
Yes.
But now,
Onions. Onion time. I cannot wait. So we have caramelized onions here. Is this different stages of onion?
Yes. These are completed. These are about partway done. Now, so many recipes you see out there say, chop up the onions, slice them up, and you can caramelize them. It takes about 20 minutes. You cannot do this in 20 minutes. It doesn't take a lot of focus and attention, but it's going to take you 45 minutes, maybe an hour. The secret to caramelizing onions is slow, low temperature. And so if you have too high of a temperature, figure you want to speed up the process, you're just going to brown them, and they're going to be crunchy and browned and not get that color and that look.
So let's start at the beginning.
Yes.
A very good place to start with the onions. Now,
the onion.
How do you cut one onion?
Here's how you do it. First of all, actually you can use any knife you want. Cut both ends off. And then you can do a little slice down, a little bit like that, and then the peel comes right off.
Now, Chef Bill, do you cry when you cut onions? Do you have that problem?
Generally not.
Okay.
It could be I built up an immunity over the years.
That could be.
That could be it.
But
If one is not immune, how do you avoid crying?
there isn't a fail-safe, foolproof method.
Okay.
I've heard everything from breathe into a paper bag, wear goggles, do them underwater, have them do them next door. I've never seen one that actually was worthy of winning the Nobel Prize.
Okay, my mom does have onion goggles, but
I do too.
I didn't know that.
I used to,
Bring them in,
well,
Seth.
and I used to work at a restaurant, and I would cut onion rings, and I would wear these huge onion goggles. People laughed, but I never cried.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. So now, again, just as before, since we had the flat side, you've got the onion lying down flat.
Okay.
And you can use that knife, any knife you want. And again, keeping your hands safe there, you can just cut right along. See, when I say safe, instead of lying your fingers down flat, kind of keep them up like that.
All right, Ashley, would you like to try?
And then,
Oh,
if it gets too narrow, just push it down on the side.
Oh, flip it over again.
Yeah, you can flip it over again.
That's excellent cutting, Ashley.
Oh, I learned from the best.
You've done this before.
Okay. How's that?
That's perfect.
All right. I was afraid I would cry, but I
Oh,
didn't.
no. No need to cry over spilled onions. So,
Now-
I mixed my metaphor.
If a recipe calls for minced onions, do we pretty much then just turn the knife and do it the opposite way?
That's one way of doing it. Let me show you another way. And there's so many different ways. And that's the great thing is there's not a wrong way, but there's so many different ways. And again, sometimes I like just kind of last bit peel it down, pull the knife down that way so you've already got it started.
So you don't have to cut that slit in
Exactly. And again, you never want to tug because that's when you end up cutting yourself. If you're putting in too much resistance, just change the angle of where you've got the knife. So here's one way I like to do a large dice. And that is you've got, again, just like starting the slicing, you've got half the onion there. I like to cut down like that. Like that. And then just turn it sideways.
Oh, easy.
And then you've got all of these diced bits of onion. Now, when you go to throw this in the pan, you see it's all still stuck together like that. You don't have to break them up individually. Once the heat starts to get them, they'll break up on their own. So that's one way of doing it. And let me show you another way of doing it. And this is actually, you'll see this, you only take one end of the onion off, leave the root side on. Now, I'm gonna go to another onion, because see how that's gone a little bad there? So that's why you always want to get extra onions.
I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. Is anyone else's eyes on fire right now?
No.
I can't stand it.
I see the way you're looking at me, Seth, and I thought maybe it's something that I said that...
No, it's just genuine. Oh, great, and we have a shot of my eyes. Hi, everyone. Are you getting there, Ashley?
I had a tear roll down my cheek. You're just so good at cutting onions.
I
take it.
Great. I feel bad.
You've killed the mood.
This is
ruined it.
I can't believe. I don't mind making Seth cry, but I don't like making Ashley cry.
Oh, it's happy tears.
Oh, they're good.
Love onions.
So now,
why are you keeping the end on this?
well, you'll see because that's going to hold it all together.
Oh, that makes sense.
So now, again, carefully, cut in like that, cut in like that, cut in like that. So now you want to cut down like that.
But not all the way through.
Not all the way through. You're cutting, and that's why it's holding it together at the end, at the root end. And now.
Oh my goodness,
Minced
that makes
onions.
it so much easier.
Yep.
Wow.
And
These
you
are
need a
great
sharp
tips.
knife for this because you don't want to force it. But so now you've got a big dice, a small dice, and you've got the slices, which is what we do the caramelized onions with.
And we'll have them in no time, but kind of time, because it takes about 45 minutes. You say.
About that. Now, let me also just say about caramelizing onions. You wouldn't necessarily take a bite out of a whole onion and say, oh boy, that's good.
No.
Not only will you cry, but
Yes.
it's just so harsh. But if you caramelize it slowly, you're bringing the sugars out.
And it's delicious. Chef Bill, we're out of time,
Out of
but
time.
I want to try a bite of